What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Tesla today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the weekend. By the time most of you watch this, it'll likely be Sunday. So coming up on the new week, I felt like it was appropriate, right? I didn't get to talk about Tesla over the last week, so talking about it in the presence of the new week coming upon us, I think is definitely nice. We are breaking out to new all-time highs, right? We've already seen new all-time highs in December. Pulled back a little bit. That might be because of Elon's association with crypto. And crypto kind of had a bullish November going into December, and then it pulled back a little bit in December, right? So I do suspect January to be bullish for not just Tesla, but for crypto as well. Maybe they're running in tandem, maybe they're not. I don't know. You know, there's an indicator actually for that. If we go right here, we go to correlation coefficient. We put it on Bitcoin. If this is at a 1, it goes between 1, 0, -1. If you're at a 1, you're very correlated. In other words, you're twinning. You're making the same moves together. If it's at a -1, you're making opposite moves, right? And if it's somewhere in between, you move similar at times and different at times. I don't know. All-time history index apply. Okay, so you can see here on a monthly basis, right? Bitcoin and Tesla correlation coefficient. That's what this is, right? They go through periods where they are correlated, periods where they aren't correlated, right? Periods where they are, periods where they aren't. It looks like you're going to a period where you are. So if you're going to a period where you are correlated, likely what's good for Bitcoin is good for Tesla. And I just want to see real quick. Not that I would associate any correlation back here, but no. Kind of end of 2017. That's funny. It's kind of funny. It's like Tesla tops off actually before crypto does. Last cycle it didn't though. Anyways, I suspect that it will move higher. This correlation coefficient isn't really going to help us out. I'm going to delete that right now. So going to new all-time highs. I love talking about Tesla because the first time that it broke out of a consolidation phase, that was the move that it saw. The next time that it broke out of a consolidation phase, that was the move that it saw. The next time that it got into a consolidation phase, I'm curious to see what the move is, right? We already have the prior two moves, right? So let's do that. Let's take a low. We'll put it here. Let's just say that's your move there, right? Let's put this low over here. This kind of move. Whoops, I guess I got to take the whole thing with me. Let me draw a trend line here, right? From the move, not the low down here, but the actual move itself to the high there. That was the move that we saw. You know, something like that. I don't know. That would project you out to anything from like $1,200, $1,300 to something that's closer to $4,000. Now let's see if we can make sense out of that in other metrics as well. What is that? 1,300 to 4,000. Let's just, or 1,300 to 3,800. Let's just put lines there. 1,300, sure, kind of like there to 3,800. Something pretty damn close to that, right? Something like that. Okay. If we look at this high here to this low here, you went all the way up to your 4s, and maybe actually I should be taking this high to this low here, maybe. You went all the way up to your 4,618 to find resistance, right, in this consolidation phase before progressing higher. Okay, 4,618, very deep extensions, guys, very, very deep extensions. High to low here, moved all the way up to your 4,618 again. That's 2 for 2, right? That can't be a coincidence. High to low, your very first crux here, all the way up to the 4,618. You take this high to low here right before you moved up, 4,618 tipped. That's a beautiful move. That's crazy. Okay, so 4,618 both times. I guess we know where we're going this time, you guys. There's no debating it, right? Tesla is not going to settle for anything less than $66,000. No, that's not how it works. I wish it's how it worked, but no, it's not how it works. Likely, though, you know, being that you do have your 1,886 and your 2,618 up here, that's awesome because how I identify these fib zones, right? If you knew nothing else, if you didn't watch this video at all, and we just started with fibs, how I identify the zones is this is your primary target zone. When you break above the 1,618, you gain access to the secondary target zone, which is the 1,886 to the 2,618, okay? And that right now essentially is exactly, our secondary zone is exactly where these outlined areas are that we've given, right? And these two white lines, again, remember, this was the last cycle movement that you had. This is your first cycle movement you had. What do I mean by cycles? I'm talking about last cycle's movement. That was the top line. first cycle movement, that was the bottom line, right? If we took a low to a high of this move, low to a high of this move, we projected it out from where you're breaking out here, that's the area that it would give you. And so essentially, by doing that, we're measuring effectively what Tesla has done anytime it's been in an expansive phase, which has only been twice. You can see it in the charts, it's only twice. It's not a whole lot to go off of. But with the 2 iterations we do have, with what it's seen in its entire existence of life, something in this zone would be what we could expect to see, something in this zone. And it's beautiful that it's something in that zone just based by movements, because the movements suggest that. But beyond just the movement suggesting that, the fibs also suggest that, right? The 1886 to the 200 level, which encompasses both of these lines pretty well, that's between about $1,437. You remember the minimum target we had was about $1,300, so brings it up a little bit. And then that maximum target is $4,000 as well, so it brings up the minimum and the maximum looking at these fibs here. I would assume, I would personally assume that you probably don't stop at 1,400, being that's your minimum, and you probably don't stop at $4,000 because that's your maximum. So something between about 2,400 and 3,000 is likely where Tesla's on its way to right now. You're at $394. So this is not going to happen overnight. This will likely take time, but how much time is it going to take, right? That's a good question to ask too. How much time is this move going to take? If we look here, this move took roughly 6 months. I would say essentially it took a full 11 months. That was when the move really ended, and then you consolidated, so 11 months. Your last move, really, it probably started here. Basically took 17, 16, 15 months, something like that. Let's say 15 months. 15 months, 11 months, so around a year each time. Your move, I would say, really started here, right? So something that's, by the end of this year, 2025, October, if not November, could be expected. If not, something very early 2026 would be when I expect Tesla to be worth multiple thousands of dollars. Again, over $2,400, if not more, as high as $4,000. But by that time, you likely will see Tesla split. So, it'll never be worth multiple thousands of dollars. It'll split before then, but it will gain in value, right? It will likely gain in value from here over the months, over this year to come. So definitely expecting big things. I don't think it stops here. I think you're just getting started, right? You can see it in the RSI. When you get overbought, anytime you've been overbought, you've gone up to these very high readings, right? 93 or higher, just crazy stuff, man. So I don't think you're going to stop here. I mean, this little bit right here, you did stop at like 77, but that wasn't during an expansive phase, right? That was just still in your consolidation. This is an expansive phase, so no doubt in my mind, you're going to see some incredible readings by the end of this. You got a lot to go. The weekly RSI looks great. Daily RSI looks like you're ripe for a bounce. I doubt you go lower. If the question is, you're at 394, 395 right now. If the question is it a good time to buy now, though? The answer I would give you is yes, so long as you can stomach the possibility of dropping down. If you can stomach the possibility of dropping down to $311 or to about $300 itself, then yeah, it's a great time to buy. If that scares you, that spooks you, then maybe look somewhere else, right? But if you can buy here and look death in the face essentially and be like, I'm prepared for it to drop down here, then you're fine. I don't think it's going to go down here. I'm not saying prepared for it to drop down there because I think it's going to go down there. I actually don't think it's going to go down there. I think you're going to move up from here, right? I think you're going to do good things, right? But the reason why I'm talking about the downside at all is because if I'm saying it's a good place to buy and we're going to move up, and then we do this, I don't want you to shit yourself down here and then sell, and then we move up anyways, because that's likely what would happen, right? It doesn't make a difference whether you buy here, you buy down here. If it happens, if it doesn't happen, we're going to move up to the same targets I've been talking about in this video at all. So if those targets are making you lick your lips, if you've got your knife and your fork out and you got your bib on, you're ready to eat, at this current price, $394, if those targets get you excited, don't fuck with it, man. Pardon my language, but don't mess with it, right? Just get in. If it goes lower, you can get in more, right? If you can't get in more because you're all in, just don't panic sell. Just be like, I bought here. I could have bought here. Darn it. But this would be really good structure to hold. If we bounce here, and we likely would bounce there, if we were to move down that low, we're going to move up, and it's going to be glorious. I'm only going to be down for like a week, maybe a month and a half at the most, and then for a year, if not longer than that, I'm going to be up phenomenally. So if you can have that conversation with yourself, it'll make the drop a lot less scary if it happens. Again, though, I'm only talking about it so much because I don't expect it to happen. But if I just talk about what I expect to happen, if all I do is talk about, yes, it's going to do this, we're going to go, it's go, 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 go time, and then I'm wrong, which I can be wrong. I'm a human being. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again, and then it does this. and then it bounces, and you crap yourself because it drops instead of doing this immediately. I don't want that to happen to you. I feel like I've hit the point over the head a bunch of times there, right? You guys understand what I'm trying to say. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want more content like this. Tesla is going to be worth potentially 10x what it is now in market cap valuation, if not something that is around like $2,400 or more from here. So that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Bye-bye.